They called it the Ark. It was their vision of the future. Peaceful, sustainable, the pinnacle of science and engineering. But it became more than that.
So, what is Brink?
Okay, Brink is the brand new game from Splash Damage we're making for Bethesda Softworks, and it's really building on our previous games like Wolfenstein Enemy Territory and Enemy Territory Quake Wars, but in a completely new universe. Brink is set on the Ark, and it's a team-based, class-based objective first-person shooter. So it's 8v8, one team attacks, one team defends, but in this really unique environment that I don't think gamers will have seen before. I think they'll really be delivering something new.
I have to say, I was a bit confused after leaving the presentation because the game design, the game structure is so different from what you'd expect from, I don't know, what's single player, what's multiplayer. Could you sort it all out?
Of course. Yeah, well, it's kind of confusing because basically we only announced the game a couple of days ago, and now we're at E3 showing off this demonstration of a couple of levels, and it's all we've got at the moment is a pre-alpha, so this is it's still an early stage. Yeah, we just, like, obviously Splash Damage, we've got a strong PC FPS background. We started off as a mod team, we really, that's really what our heritage and our legacy is. But there's been things that are just wrong. There's been things that haven't been good enough. And one of them is this ridiculous notion that single player and multiplayer are two completely separate things. And it's just enough. The time has come to stop this. So it's been weird for us seeing how, you get games that ship with two different executables. They've got a completely different feeling. They've got a completely different pitch. Sometimes they've got a different control system. It's just like, what's going on? Are we second-class, gamers because we want to play them online or multiplayer? It's nonsense, and it's got to stop. So this is why we really want to work on this and move it on. So it's been weird to hear people saying, oh wow, 4-player co-op is really good. We know that. We've known this for some time. Lots of PC gamers know this. We're trying to spread this good news. So we're really trying to get rid of this idea of single-player, multiplayer, online, offline, because it shouldn't matter. There are some very, very good games that are, you can tell single-player. You travel on a rail, you see these scripted events, this thing happens, and they always happen, the same things in the same order. They're really good, but maybe not so much replay value because it's always going to be the same. Whereas multiplayer, it's a sandbox. Anything can happen at any point from any direction. They're harder to, they're really hard to make those environments, but it means that no two games are ever alike. And this is what we want to deliver, and it's still a really cinematic first-person experience. You're still really in the game, but it's unpredictable and exciting, and you've got a lot more choice in terms of your actions, which is what we're trying to bring to a much wider audience. So imagine you get Brink, and you just boot the machine up, and you see that one of your friends is playing it in solo mode. So we've got solo, cooperative, and competitive. Never mind single-player, multiplayer. That is irrelevant. It just doesn't matter anymore. So he's playing solo, but he said, all right, I want to join him. Oh, now it's cooperative. But what's changed? It's still two teams, 8v8, one team attacking, one team defending, doing objectives in a linear way. It focuses the gameplay really nicely. Certain classes can do certain objectives. There's a whole kind of rock, paper, scissors system of, oh, hang on, if he's gone engineer, then maybe I should go do this. All of the stuff that we've done in our previous games. But, but 4-player co-op, yeah, it's great. It's not enough. We've got 8-player co-op. And we can swap these things in instantly. Although actually, in effect, you're going to have to wait for the next spawn wave. So even though we can replace an AI player with a human player within one frame of game clock, in fact, you will have to wait for the respawn wave or whatever it is, unless you're very lucky on that. Or maybe he drops out. Maybe he's suddenly got to go and do something else. Fine, we replace him back with an AI player. And our AI players are very, very good. In fact, several times we've had people not realise that they are playing the AI players. And these are quite hardened journalists. They become very angry. It's very funny. But so we can guarantee good teammates. Now, sometimes playing multiplayer games, your teammates aren't as great as they need to be.
And you don't want them to open their mouths.
Well, okay. There's another promise about Brink. The only voices you will hear are the in-game NPCs and your friends. That is only what everyone. I think everyone's had an experience of some homophobic, misogynist, racist 12-year-old. It's like, this is not what's cool about the medium or the game genre. So yeah, all of that defaults to off. Obviously, if you want to, you can open all that stuff up. But yeah, clearly that's been a negative experience for people. We don't want to expose them to that. But why? It just seems like it's confusing until you see it in practice, and then you think, why haven't we done it this way all the time? Why hasn't it always been scalable? Well, okay, because it's a lot of work and it's quite hard to make the game. But it just, once you've done it, and then you go back to a traditional game, you just go, oh wow. It's like, oh, well, I was in a really nice automatic car with air conditioning, and now I'm on a moped. Well, okay, yeah, it still gets me from A to B, but can I not have that instead? That was more fun.
When you said you wanted a cinematic first-person experience, and how do you implement like story into a game that's...
Here's how not to do it. Here's like, oh, I'm an NPC, and you're going to have to listen to me while I tell you about my situation and what's happened here for the last 10 years. No, you're not allowed to play the game. I know you bought the game, but I'm not going to let you play it until I finish talking. That is a terrible way of doing a story. One of the things we're really excited, and one of the reasons we went for this really unique setting is we wanted gamers to have... It's not a setting they've seen before. No more warehouses full of crates, no more railway stations, no more towns in North Africa. We have done those. You know, they were great, but there's no need to do them again. So yeah, we're really trying to give them a unique new feel, a new setting. But we have this design principle called instant deep context. And the goal of that is that as soon as you go in the map, you just look around you and intuitively you can see what's going on. For example, in the presentation you saw the airport. And you can tell, oh, look, this is kind of nice, kind of futuristic, not science fiction, but kind of, oh, wait, it's completely deserted. It's abandoned. This is an airport with no planes landing. Oh, that's kind of weird. You can tell in the first second. Well, that's part of the backstory that's going on. But the deep context part of it is that the more you look, the more you will see. The best storytelling medium we have is the environment. So we put an awful lot of work into, the more you look around, the more you will see oh, here's what's happened for the last 20 years in this place. Oh, look, it used to be like this, but now that's broken and this has failed. It's going to be a really involving environment, as I think you saw. You can just by looking around you can pretty much work out what's happened for the last 20, 30 years. Now, if you're interested in that kind of backstory and the history of the place and maybe where it's going and some of the agendas and conspiracies going on, there'll be a lot of information for you to pick up. But lots of players just aren't interested in that, and you can't put that in the way of gamers. You can't put it in the way of enjoying the game. So it's there if you want it, but it's your choice if you want to get into that.